Welcome to Hidden Lens, the channel where we uncover the hidden truths behind ordinary things and reveal the life lessons hiding in plain sight.
What if I told you that one of the most intelligent creatures on Earth is not a dolphin, not a chimpanzee, not even a human? It watches you from telephone wires. It remembers your face forever. It holds grudges. It mourns its dead. And it has been solving problems that stump PhD students for centuries. The crow. Most people walk past them every single day without a second glance. They shoo them away. They call them pests. They consider them bad omens. But here's the thing. The crow has been silently watching us, studying us. And in many ways, it has already figured out things we're still struggling to learn. Welcome to Hidden Lens, the channel where we zoom in on the parts of the world most people never stop to look at. And today, the crow is going to teach us how to live. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you will never look at a crow the same way again.
Let's start with something that should make every single one of us uncomfortable. Crows remember faces. Not just for a day, not just for a week. Researchers at the University of Washington conducted an experiment where scientists wore specific masks while capturing and banding crows. Simple stuff, right? Just tagging birds for research. The crows remembered those masks for over 5 years. 5 years. And it got stranger. The crows didn't just remember. They passed the information to their children, to their neighbors. Young crows who had never even seen the masked researchers would swoop and scold the moment the mask appeared. Now here's the lesson, and I want you to really sit with this one. In a world obsessed with forgetting insults, forgetting mistakes, deleting conversations, moving on like nothing happened, the crow teaches us the radical power of remembering with precision. How many times have you dismissed a red flag? How many times have you ignored a pattern because you convinced yourself people change? How many times have you walked back into the same situation that hurt you before because your memory was soft? The crow is not soft. The crow keeps receipts. And that is not cruelty. That is wisdom. Remember who showed up for you. Remember who didn't. Not as a way to punish people forever, but as a compass. Your memory is your most underused survival tool. The crow never forgot. Neither should you. Now this next one. This one broke my mind when I first learned it. Crows give gifts. In Seattle, a young girl named Gabby Mann began feeding crows outside her home. She was 8 years old. She'd leave peanuts, dog food, bits of leftover food on a tray. The crows started coming regularly. Then one day, something appeared on the tray that Gabby hadn't put there. A small button, shiny, round, left there by the crows. Over the following months, Gabby's collection grew. Pieces of broken jewelry, a rusted screw, a small blue glass bead, a miniature silver heart. Each one left deliberately. Each one placed with intention. The crows were paying her back in the only currency they had, They noticed the kindness, they valued it, and they responded. Now, let me ask you something. When is the last time you gave something back? Not because you had to, not because it was expected, but because someone was kind to you and you wanted them to feel it. We live in a culture of taking, consuming, scrolling, extracting value from everything and everyone around us, and then wondering why we feel empty, why relationships feel transactional, why nothing feels real anymore. The crow figured it out. Reciprocity is not weakness. It is not soft. It is the invisible thread that holds every meaningful relationship together. Give genuinely. Notice who gives back. And build your world around those exchanges. Because even a crow knows. Kindness deserves an answer.
Section 3. The Secret of Mourning. I need you to stop what you're doing for just a moment, because this next section is the one that gets me every single time. Crows hold funerals. Not metaphorically, literally. When a crow dies, nearby crows gather. They do not scatter, they do not flee. They land around the body. They go silent. Researchers call this behavior a crow funeral. But more importantly, they discovered something remarkable in studying it. The crows are not simply mourning. They are learning. They are studying the scene. They are trying to understand what killed their companion. Was there a predator? A trap? A danger? They grieve, and they get smarter from the grief.
How many of us have wasted our pain? We experience loss, a relationship, a job, a dream, a person, and we do one of two things. We either bury it so deep we pretend it never happened, or we drown in it until it defines us. We loop the same story. We call it our identity. We build our personality around being someone who was hurt. But the crow shows us the third way. Feel the loss. Stand in it. Let it be real. And then extract the intelligence from it. What does this teach you about where you were standing? What patterns led here? What will you do differently next time? Grief without insight is just suffering. Grief with insight is evolution. The crow doesn't just mourn. The crow upgrades. And so can you. All right, let's talk about intelligence. Real intelligence. Not the kind measured in tests, the kind measured in results. Scientists gave crows a series of puzzles, not simple ones. Multi-step problems requiring the crow to use one tool to get another tool to reach a reward. 8 steps of sequential reasoning. Some human children could not complete the same task. One crow, in a famous experiment, bent a straight wire into a hook to lift a small bucket from inside a tube. It had never seen a hook before. It had never bent wire before. It simply looked at the problem, looked at the available materials, and in seconds, invented a solution. Let that land. The crow did not wait for instructions, did not wait to be taught, did not say, "I've never done this before."
It improvised from scratch with what it had right now. Here's the question I want to ask you. When you face a problem, a real one, not a hypothetical, what is your first instinct? Do you look for what you already know? Do you look for someone to tell you the answer? Do you wait for the right conditions? Do you convince yourself you don't have the tools? The crow never has the right tools. The crow always improvises. Resourcefulness is not about having more. It is about seeing differently. You have more than you think you have. You always have. The wire is already there. The only question is whether you'll pick it up and bend it. Have you ever heard the word mobbing? Not the human kind, the crow kind. When a crow detects a threat, a hawk, an owl, a fox, it does not hide. It does not flee alone. It calls. And from every corner of the area, other crows arrive. Within seconds, they surround the predator. They harass it. They chase it. And they do not stop until the threat is gone. Here's the remarkable part. The crows responding are not all family. They are not all close friends. They are members of the community. And the community has an agreement, unspoken but ironclad. When one of us sounds the alarm, we all show up. Think about the communities you are part of. Your family, your friends, your colleagues, your neighbors. Who would you show up for? And more importantly, who would show up for you? We have been sold the myth of the lone wolf, the self-made person, the individual who needs no one. And we have built our lives around this myth. We call it independence. We call it strength. But the crow calls it foolishness. No crow survives by going alone. The crow survives because it belongs to something. It contributes to something. It shows up. Invest in your community before you need it. Be the crow that answers the call. And you will never be the crow that calls into an empty sky. Okay, this one is my favorite, and I think it might be yours too. Crows play. Not instinctively, not accidentally, deliberately, joyfully, inventively. Crows have been filmed snowboarding down rooftops on lids and pieces of bark. They ride the lid down, pick it up, fly back to the top, and do it again and again. Not for food, not for survival, just because it's fun. Crows have been seen dropping objects and catching them mid-flight. They play tug of war, they dangle upside down from branches for no reason. They steal shiny objects, not to eat them, but to collect them, to admire them, to keep them. The crow plays, and we have forgotten how. Somewhere between childhood and adulthood, we signed a contract with seriousness. We decided play was childish. We decided joy was unproductive. We decided that if something wasn't efficient, it wasn't worth doing. And we slowly strangled the most creative, most alive part of ourselves. The crow never signed that contract. Play is not a reward for finishing work. Play is the engine of creativity.
Play is how the brain finds connections it would never find under pressure. Play is how you remember you are alive. What did you love doing as a child that you quietly gave up? Go back to it. The crow would. The crow always does. And finally, the most important secret of all. Crows did not survive for millions of years by staying the same. They adapted to cities when forests disappeared. They learned to use traffic lights to crack nuts, dropping them in intersections and waiting for cars to crush them, then collecting the pieces when the light turned red and people stopped. They memorized bus routes. They identified individual humans. They developed regional dialects. They changed constantly, deliberately, while other species clung to what they knew and vanished. The crow looked at the changing world and said, "What does this new world require of me? And what do I need to become?"
That is the question most people never ask. We wait for the world to go back to the way it was. We resist change, as if change were the enemy. We hold on to identities, strategies, beliefs, and habits that stopped working years ago, because changing them feels like losing ourselves. The crow has no ego about its past self. The crow only cares about one thing: surviving today, thriving tomorrow. Let go of who you were. Not forever, but enough to ask, who does this moment require me to be? The world is changing. It always is. The only question is whether you change with it or get left behind on a branch that no longer exists.
So let's bring it all home. 7 lessons from a bird most people never think twice about. Remember with precision. Practice reciprocity. Grieve with intelligence. Improvise with what you have. Build community before you need it. Never forget how to play. And adapt or disappear. The crow has been on this earth for millions of years. It has watched empires rise and crumble. It has watched species come and go. It has watched us. And it has not been impressed. But it is patient. It is always patient. Because it knows the lesson is still available whenever we are ready to learn it. Now here's what I want to know from you. Which of these 7 lessons hit hardest? Was it the memory? The community? The play? Drop it in the comments right now. I genuinely read every single one, and I want to know where you are in your life right now. Your answer might surprise you.
And if this video made you see something differently, even just one thing, please hit that like button. It takes 2 seconds, and it tells the algorithm that this kind of content matters, that depth matters, that thinking slowly in a world moving too fast matters. Subscribe to Hidden Lens if you haven't already, because every week we go deeper. We zoom into the things hiding in plain sight, the science, the stories, the strange, beautiful truths that live just beneath the surface of ordinary life. You don't want to miss what's coming next. And one more thing. Go watch one of our other Hidden Lens videos right after this, because the rabbit hole goes deep. And the more you look through the hidden lens, the more you realize how much of the world you've been walking past without ever really seeing it. I'm glad you were here today.
This is Hidden Lens. Keep looking closer.